Pause for a moment and listen closely, because what you are about to hear is not chance, not superstition, and not imagination, but a quiet law that has governed lives long before this very morning arrived. December 16th is not an ordinary square on a calendar, for no day ever is. Yet this day stands ready like an unopened letter, waiting for the words you choose to write upon it with your thoughts. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life is not pushed forward by time, but shaped inwardly by belief, and today invites you to test that truth gently and boldly at once. Before your feet touch the floor, before the mind begins its familiar race, there is a single instant where destiny listens, and in that instant your inner speech becomes a command. Many rise and unknowingly decree limitation, fatigue, or delay, then wonder why the hours echo those words back to them. Yet spiritual law responds without judgment, matching vibration to experience with unwavering accuracy. On December 16th, the law remains the same, but your awareness of it can be entirely new. Imagine beginning this day, not by reacting to yesterday, but by selecting a thought that carries peace, order, and expectation of good. Such a choice is not wishful thinking, it is alignment. When the mind agrees with harmony, circumstances rearrange themselves to confirm that agreement. Florence spoke of the spoken word as a seed, invisible at first, yet obedient to grow after its kind, and this morning offers fertile ground. If you declare quietly that divine order goes before you, you will notice doors opening where walls once appeared. If you affirm that you are guided, your steps will feel lighter and confusion will lose its authority. This is how days are redeemed, not through effort, but through understanding. December 16th responds to conviction, not anxiety, and to trust, not force. Even events that seem fixed begin to soften when met with spiritual certainty. The world may insist that days bring their own burdens, but the inner law insists otherwise, declaring that the kingdom of harmony is within reach now. As you move through this day, remember that every word you accept as true is shaping the path ahead. The smallest affirmation can outweigh the loudest fear, and the calmest belief can dissolve the strongest resistance. This is the threshold of the day, and you are standing upon it with authority. Right now, the unseen is responding, arranging meetings, messages, and moments to mirror the tone you have set within, and nothing is wasted when trust leads the way. Let December 16th be met with gratitude ahead of evidence, for gratitude moves faster than proof and clears the road for grace. Hold to the certainty that good is lawful, timely, and personal, and the day will answer in kind. Remain faithful to this inner agreement, and you will witness harmony replacing haste, clarity dissolving doubt, and provision appearing naturally before the final hour arrives with ease. As the hours of December 16th begin to unfold, something subtle yet powerful starts to stir beneath the surface of ordinary appearances, and this is where many lose awareness and surrender their authority without realizing it. Florence Scovel Shinn warned that the outer world often attempts to contradict the inner decree, testing whether belief is rooted or merely spoken. This is the hidden moment of suspense in every day, when circumstances pause and seem undecided, waiting to see which voice you will trust. You may notice delays, unexpected silence, or a moment where things appear to move backward rather than forward, and this is not failure, but proof that the law is active. The old patterns rise briefly, like shadows at sunset, before dissolving in the presence of sustained faith. At this midpoint of the day, many abandon their affirmations and unknowingly cancel their morning decree. Yet those who remain steady discover a turning point that cannot be forced, but only allowed. Spiritual law does not respond to panic or repetition born of fear. It responds to calm conviction and quiet expectancy. When nothing seems to change, that is often the exact moment when unseen arrangements are finalizing themselves. Florence taught that the universe works behind the scenes, assembling the perfect sequence, and impatience only interrupts the flow. December 16 carries this same test, asking whether you will judge by appearances or stand upon inner knowing. This is where destiny bends, not with noise, but with stillness. If you persist in believing that good is inevitable, the day must comply, for law does not negotiate with doubt. Suspense exists not to discourage, but to refine belief, to separate those who hope from those who know. In this pause, words spoken earlier begin to echo, either reinforcing peace or magnifying unrest, depending on what was planted. If you find yourself tempted to worry, remember that worry is simply imagination misused, and imagination, when reclaimed, becomes prophecy fulfilled. Redirect it gently, affirming that what is delayed is not denied, and what is unseen is already secured. Florence spoke of divine timing as exact, never early, never late, and this truth steadies the heart when logic demands proof. As the afternoon progresses, signs may appear quietly rather than dramatically, a message, a solution, an inner calm that replaces urgency, and these are confirmations that the law is moving. Do not overlook them, for gratitude strengthens their momentum. The suspense of the day exists only until belief settles fully into certainty, and once that happens, resistance dissolves without announcement. December 16 responds to this unwavering posture by shifting circumstances naturally, without strain or struggle. What once seemed uncertain begins aligning effortlessly, and you realize that the delay was never absence, but preparation. Hold fast in this inner stance, because the turning point often arrives disguised as ordinary, yet it carries the weight of transformation for those who remain faithful to the unseen order at work. As December 16th moves toward its close, the law that has been quietly working all day begins to reveal its outcome, often in ways so natural that only awareness recognizes the miracle. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the end of a day seals the pattern for the days that follow, and this final movement carries greater power than most realize. What you accept as true before rest becomes a command to the subconscious, which never argues and never delays execution. This is why the closing thoughts of the day matter more than the events themselves. Regardless of what seemed unfinished or unresolved, spiritual law invites you to rest in completion, not effort. When you affirm that the day has worked out for your highest good, you release control and allow harmony to finalize its work. December 16th does not require exhaustion to prove its value. It asks only recognition. The victories of the day may not all be visible yet, but unseen success is still success, and unseen movement is still progress. Florence emphasized that gratitude at night is an act of faith, not reaction, and faith always precedes manifestation. As you prepare to sleep, speak words that assume fulfillment rather than hope for it. Declare that right action has taken place, that right people have been drawn to you, and that right conditions are forming even now. These words do not persuade the universe. They align you with what is already arranged. The law of attraction responds most powerfully when resistance has fallen away, and rest dissolves resistance effortlessly. This is the quiet triumph of the day, where strain gives way to trust. December 16th becomes complete, not when tasks are finished, but when belief settles into certainty. Even challenges encountered earlier now reveal their purpose, softening into lessons rather than obstacles. Florence taught that every seeming delay carries a hidden gift, and at night the mind is finally still enough to receive it. In this stillness, intuition clarifies, peace deepens, and tomorrow begins forming under the direction of confidence rather than fear. What you decree now becomes tomorrow's foundation, and the law listens closely. Sleep itself becomes an act of agreement with good when the final thought is aligned. As you close this day, choose words that assume protection, guidance, and provision, and the law will move ahead of you without effort. December 16 was never meant to burden you. It was meant to instruct you in your own authority. Carry this understanding forward, knowing that no day can overpower a mind established in truth. Each sunrise responds to belief, each moment rearranges itself to match inner speech, and each night seals what has been accepted as law. Remain conscious, remain grateful, and remain aligned, for this is how destiny is shaped gently and surely. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.